Hello everyone and welcome to the GoDaddy at the Glen here at Watkins Glen International Road Course. We are ready for 29 laps around one of the most chaotic tracks in the NSDCA. 40 drivers out here for this race. We've had 40 drivers in I believe 3 different cup races so far this season. That being Daytona, Road America, and Watkins Glen. That's the interesting thing about it. A lot of the road courses have had full or almost full race groups this year, which is very, very surprising that a road course of anything would have these full fields. But you got a lot of road course ringers that could be in here, including a few starting up front. Those being Matty Porta in first, William Duncan third, Tip Foster fourth, and Zach Rogers fifth. These 4 have equipment underneath them, except maybe not the 01 as it is an R&D car. Duncan trying to drive that car into victory lane, which would be a big upset, but the other 3 in some competitive equipment. Justin Knight returns to the NSDCA. He'll be making another Cup Series start here in the 08 for Sauber Racing Team as a road course ringer. Further back, Max Anderson is in the 51 there. Even further back, Mac Johnson in the 2, Luke Evans in the 42. That is your top 15 right there, or top 16 right there. Francois Chastain returns to 36th and 17th. Ethan Head will drive in 18th in the 87. And even further back, the remainder of these road course ringers, Casey Mears in the 07 starting 24th. Riley Spurleytube, not a ringer, but driving his race in this full season campaign in the 79. Further at the back, you got Brad Cheston in dim angle brights, number 0 Jelly Belly Chevy. So a local racer to the northeast coming out to Watkins Glen with a brand new Cup car. Alongside them in the 61, Jacob Rose. As well, further back, KT Larson in the 23, Joseph Strigley in the 63, and Matt Sladek in the 30 rounds out the field of most of the road course specialists. We're going to go ahead and talk more about this race on the pace lap, but we'll go down trackside for the commands to fire the engines here at the GoDaddy at the Glen at Watkins Glen.
Drivers, start your engines!
With that, the engines are fired. We're ready to race at the GoDaddy at the Glen. Matty Porta, Jay Jefferson, row 1. William Duncan, Tip Foster, Zach Rogers round out your top 5. Watkins Glen is going to be a crazy track. The track promoters here love to add just a little bit of grease to the corners here at each of these turns here at Watkins Glen to make the crowd stand on their feet. This track has been sold out ever since Season 2, and we are excited to be back at Watkins Glen. This is the super speedway of road course racing for the NSDCA, not just because the speeds are high and drafting could be key, but because there is unpredictability, insanity, and chaos that occur around this track. 29 laps is the longest we've ever ran at Watkins Glen, and we barely get green flag laps in as is, so expect a long race here with a lot of pace laps. That brings the question, though. A fuel window of about 14 to 16 laps means what caution do you want to come in and make a pit stop? Do you want to make 2? Do you want to be in the back of the pack and have to survive the crashes that are going to happen in the mid and back parts of the course, as well even in the front group, because these guys up here will still be racing just as hard for these top positions. You also got to watch the dive bombs into 1, the moves through the carousel, the being moved into the carousel, working your way through the S's and the final 2 corners. Every part of this track is treacherous. Every part of this track is tough, and the drivers are going to have their hands full for 29 laps here today. We'll see with the green-white checkered rule being in place this year. Will we have 7 green-white checkers? The NSDCA has not made a rule on how many is too many. They said unlimited, but the question is, will it be really unlimited if we start going into maybe lap 50 here at Watkins Glen? Which could, happen. The smaller the field, the better the racing we've had in the JROC. That's the reason that we don't go to the bus stop anymore after pretty much everyone crashed in the bus stop. The smaller the fields, the better the racing we might see. So if cars crash out, blow up early, we might see some good racing near the end. Matty Porta, Jay Jefferson, William Duncan, Tip Foster, Zach Rogers, Stephen Wallace Jr., Edson, Murray, Knight, and Morris, your top 10. Coming down the front straightaway, green flags in the air. We are racing at Watkins Glen. Porta gets a big jump. We go high atop the turn 1 camera as Porta's going to get spun out by Jefferson right off the bat. They go spinning to the inside, and now Porta's got to gather it back up. We are still green as everyone tries to scatter around Matty Porta. Drivers go into the grass. This is going to be dangerous coming through the S's. On Jack coming back on. There's Francois Chastain, Luke Evans, but Matty Porta, Larry Hagan has damage. That's big in his hopes for the championship, but now Tip Foster has no one around him. Tip Foster's your race leader as the road course ace. And you have Stephen Wallace Jr., Zach Rogers, Austin Murray right behind him. We're going to replay ASAP, but you see Porta already moving around Sladek. William Duncan there. He is not happy with Jay Jefferson, who has already gotten into the 20 car immediately in this event after the first lap. No caution, though, is nice as we come around to complete lap 1. The front of the field already spread out, and it's Tip Foster in the 40. He will be your race leader as they come across the line there in the 40 car for Angiato. The rest of the field cycling on past, though, as we go, and Tip Foster, your race leader, dives it into 1. Turn 1's the hardest part of the course because you just don't have a good braking opportunity into that corner. But if you have a good lead like Foster did, even if you go wide, you can still maintain that race lead. Foster's a great road course driver. He's been up front on all of them this season. Pensacola, Old Spice, and Road America, but it's just come undone in 2 of those. Old Spice ran out of fuel. Pensacola, a bad fuel strategy, and then a crash at the end. So Tib wants to finally get that road course win this season in the Cup Series. Hagan with all that damage. Porta now back at the back. He's not happy about that. He has 2 wins. He's 5th in points, so this could still knock him outside of the top 10. He wants those bonus points because you got to remember, if you use a wild card spot, your wins don't give you the 5 bonus points heading into the chase, so you're at an even bigger disadvantage than just being a wild card driver. Austin Murray's going to make a move for 4th on Morris. Now you got Edson and Justin Knight back there, so maybe Matty Porta won't be the Sauber Racing Team entry winning this race. Maybe Justin Knight could, but Tip Foster out in front. Stephen Wallace Jr. 2nd, Zach Rogers 3rd. That's your top 3. Murray 4th. Now Yepes looking for a move on Knight. Not going to get that to happen. The inside is not really the best opportunity into turn 1. You might get up on that rumble strip and really slow you down. Zach Rogers moves that 28 into 2nd. So we had Sauber Racing Team, Texas Star Racing starting up front, trying to win this race. Now it's a different 2 from Sauber and TSR. Zach Rogers 2nd, Justin Knight sitting 7th. You see the field, though, single file down the back. These guys trying to be calm now. They don't want to end up causing a big one because they've seen that a lot in the Cup Series this season. Tib Foster maintaining the race lead. Coming across the line, 3 wide coming out of the carousel. Murray's going to shoot up the inside of Stephen Wallace Jr. Morris tried to make the move side by side for the 3rd spot between P2M and GDI. And now you got to watch for Zach Rogers. He's here just to win this race. The 28 team is part-time. Riley Spurleytube's the only one fighting for points when he drives in the 28. Everyone else is a part-time driver, meaning Zach Rogers has nothing to lose. If he gets a 2nd place run, it's great, but why wouldn't he be able to win this? Why shouldn't he be going after Foster hard to try to win this race? Because that's all he's here for. He's trying to show his opportunity here, but also get that car into victory lane. We have not had a part-time driver win this season in the Cup Series. But you also got Austin Murray, Jacob Edson, Stephen Wallace Jr. all up inside this top battle. If these guys win, that throws another wrench into the wild card race, especially for Larry Hagan, who's now damaged at the back of this field in the 21 car slow. He's waiting for a caution so he can come down and repair that car without going a lap down. And now that 21 team, he's just hoping his best. Porta has not gained anything at the back, and it looks like these cars a bit harder to pass, it seems, when you're strung out at the back. Contact there between Larson and Spurleytube as Larson starts the fall through the field slowly. Jay Jefferson up into the 19th spot. Rest of the field coming on by. There's Dusty Neal working on Carson Bowers, and Neal entering this race 11th does not want to have to use a wild card spot and use his win for just to make the chase with a wild card position. He wants to point his way in for those bonus points. Max Anderson in the 51 further back there. You also got Mac Johnson in the 2. He's working his way past Justin Knight. Jacob Edson looking to the bottom of Stephen Wallace Jr. as the Toyotas are starting to move by him. Contact there as they go sideways off the corner. Foster and Rogers have absolutely pulled away. Now Murray second, Murray third, Morris fourth as they're trying to chase down the 40 and the 28 that are out in front. But Tib Foster already putting on a clinic. He knows Porta's nowhere near him, and it'll probably take some cautions and some pit strategy to get Porta back into the fight, because there's no way, with that, as scuffed as those tires are now, he's not going to be able to push hard and make positions up quickly. So Tib gets to enjoy his time out in front with a less experienced road racer in Zach Rogers. Rogers still a good driver on the road courses, but just does not have the experience of 5 or even 6 years that Porta and Foster do. But Tib goes wide. Here comes Rogers now, looking to that outside. Jay Jefferson's taught him a lot, taught him how to be aggressive. He throws it in, almost into the wall. Misses it right there. 5 of 29 complete here at Watkins Glen. Tib Foster, right now your race leader. Mac Johnson going right back after Justin Knight. He wants that spot just inside the top 10, looking for the 8th spot as he's going to dive it to the bottom. Contact there. Justin Knight goes spinning. Sauber Racing Team has now had both of their cars spin out of turn 1, and that's not going to be happy. Mr. Sauber's not going to be happy with some drivers there, and Justin almost merges back into Peter Onjak, one of the guys that gave him an MDCS start a couple of years ago. Looking further back, William Duncan finally going to pick up a spot on Sladek, but Porta's tires are so shot, there's no way he's going to be able to gain too many positions now. Carter Friesen, 10th in points, is also at the back here. He is running right now in the 32nd position, so not a good job for Monster Motorsports right now. Knight now battling just inside the top 30. There's Peter Onjak, Ryan Butcher. Brady Burkhardt hasn't gained too much. One car, it looked like, went wide. That's Matthew Eves all the way into the wall coming out of the carousel. Heavy damage there. And one car we want to point out, there is the Jelly Belly Zero of Brad Chastain, owned by Dim Anglebright, a Lime Rock racer here in some Miatas up in Connecticut, or wherever Lime Rock is. But the Zero team right now running very well in their first start, just inside the top 20. Brad Chastain, a previous Watkins Glen winner, at least on the bus stop version. He's having a great time right now in that Zero car just inside the top 20. Jay Jefferson picking up a couple spots. Max Anderson going after Casey Mears. Colton Lane, he needs to get ahead of Hagan now after this as they go fighting with Carson Bowers. 7 of 29 complete. Tib Foster maintaining the race lead. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break, bring you guys back to the action here at Watkins Glen right after this. Back live here at the GoDaddy at the Glen. Tib Foster continues to lead over Zach Rogers, Austin Murray, Brandon Morris, and Stephen Wallace Jr. Having a good race so far. We've been still clean and green outside of the first few spins into turn 1 on lap 1, which is really one of the biggest clusters in the Watkins Glen course there. Tib Foster has now pulled out to a very good margin over Zach Rogers. The battle happening, though, behind them for that 6th position as Diego Yepes is trying to break inside the top 5. So he goes after Stephen Wallace Jr. SWJ, Austin Murray, both looking to put themselves into the chase with a win here today, as well as Jacob Edson. All of those guys inside the top 16 in points, with Stephen Wallace Jr. being the furthest one back in that 16th position. DJ Curtis looking for a strong run today in 8th, but give a shout out to Ethan Head in the 87 in the truck race, was leading when the car blew up. Heartbreaking there for him, probably his last chance really at taking a race win in the truck series, but now he has a car underneath him for this cup race, and this 87 team running very well inside the 9th position as they run so far. He started this race, where did he start this race from? In the 87. He started this race 18th. He's up to 9th, so a great start to that so far, and he is inside this top 10 battling. And there's another driver who wants to win this race to put himself in the chase. That's Carson Bowers in the 25, but I think he can get away with just running pretty well. Outside of the gap from Sebastian Kukulon to Austin Murray, really about 13th to 20th is separated by maybe 20 points. Yeah, less than 20 points, or about 20 points. So a good run today by Bowers. A top 5 or a top 10 by Bowers could really give him some points in the standings as he's going to come back across into Ethan Head. A big dog fight here from about 9th back to 13th as they run this front pack up here. They've pretty much stayed single file. No one's really making moves. But Zach Rogers starting to catch back up to Foster as Tib is overdriving this course. 10 of 29 complete. I don't think we've ever had green flag run this far, as well as a green flag run that resulted in green flag pit stops. So this could be a first for Watkins Glen. Tib Foster out in front over Zach Rogers. The only thing is, once a caution happens, it's going to breed many more cautions, and be sure to probably see that happening as this race progresses. Now, Morris looking to the inside of Murray is going to allow Stephen Wallace Jr. to go to the inside, looking for that 4th position there as they head into the final corner. BGM, of course, they are on that pattern. If the pattern continues, either Morris, Duncan, or Yepes will win this race today. And Morris and Yepes both up front. William Duncan, again, heartbreaking for that 0-1 team, as he had such a good start to this one. He's mired back in traffic with Matty Porta. Duncan, I think the car is just a little underpowered, but Porta, it has to be those tires. He just does not have any grip to make many spots. But it appears like it's a bit harder to pass here at Watkins Glen than other times. Jay Jefferson, though, slowly working his way through as he made contact with Mears. Now looking for a shot at Max Anderson here. That's going to be for the 14th position. So Jefferson's making short work of these guys further back as he's charging back up through the field. But right now, this race has been pretty calm as they stay pretty much single-filed out through the majority of this field. Tib Foster and Zach Rogers, the two setting the pace here at the Glen. The other thing to note here, we are 3 races away from the chase if you count the end of this Watkins Glen event. And that being said, Brady Burkhart, if Jefferson can get up there and win while Burkhart is mired back here, that could be big in the battle for that regular season championship. But if Brady can only finish maybe 8 or 9 spots behind Jay or ahead of him, I think he's got it about locked up, depending on how Daytona would play out for him. Another thing to note, you have 3 races left till the chase. 2 of them are wild card races. Pretty much this race right here at Watkins Glen, which could be won by anyone as this race progresses. And then you have Daytona next week under the lights, hopefully, down at Daytona. And we will see some great racing there, which could lead to anyone winning on a super speedway, as we've seen before in the NSDCA. So those are 2 wildcard races, and then the final one is at Chicagoland. That joins the truck doubleheader there, as the trucks finish their regular season off with a doubleheader at Chicagoland. So Chicagoland's not really a wildcard race, but you can definitely have some great finishes and some surprising winners at Chicagoland. We almost had Jose Perez win in his rookie season there at Chicagoland in an underpowered 35. But right now, you know, Tib Foster's putting on a dominant performance, 7th in points. He's 106 back from Brady Burkhart, but he's only a few points back from Porta and Onjak, who are both pretty far back, so he should be possibly in the top 5 in the standings. He's about 50 points behind Diego Yepes, Brandon Morris, Jay Jefferson, that group, so don't expect him to catch those guys real quick. But right now, Tib Foster running very, very well out in front, dominating this race so far. And it looks like really everyone's pretty much come down single file and is just biding their time. So this is different from Watkins Glen. We didn't know how the Cup cars would perform here. Never mind. Matthew Eves, William Duncan sideways. There goes Cody Goforth across into Matt Sladek. Duncan's in it, and that will bring out the first caution of the day. Larry Hagan's got to navigate his way through this one. It looks like they've all continued on, so hopefully he won't pile in like Anderson Reed did. He's going to pick up some spots. Heartbreaking for Duncan, who had a great start to this weekend. And we will have a caution before pit stops. Tib Foster's lead erased. And now, this is when Watkins Glen's chaos and insanity is going to start, because if you did not think that that first restart was hectic, these next ones are going to be, because you'll be seeing these guys on new tires, even if some people stay out, which I don't see you staying out. 14 to 29, we're almost halfway through this one, so that's it there. And really, if you pit here, it'll be coming around to lap 15. You should be able to make it to the end. That'd be about 15 laps left, 15 circuits around this course left, which should be enough. But green-white checkereds is the other thing. So if you have a green-white checkered, you don't want another Pocono situation, so you might have to come down and pit, which could end up causing chaos and causing some alternate strategies. And if we know anything about Tib Foster and strategies this year, it has not been good. So he's hoping that we can have just another green flag run to the end, because he might be able to come out of this one a race winner at a road course. Zach Rogers in second put up speed. He was the only one keeping pace with Foster that whole time. But now you got a guy back there in Matty Porta in the 20. Do these guys play strategy? Maybe 2 tires under this pit stop if others go forward to try to pick up track position, because there's no way he's going to win this race from back here if he wasn't able to pick up spots earlier. But now the real question is, we'll be lining these guys back up after a nice opening stint of mostly single file and more calm movement. Will they let loose and start causing what we've seen at Watkins Glen in years past? We'll have to wait and see. Does these guys pace around? There's going to be pit stops under this time, so we will get you the replay of the incident after this, after we take a look at the live pit stops. But it is Tib Foster in your race lead, so 14 laps led today will most likely be the most laps led in the race. Mac Johnson, an issue for the 2 car. It's a brake failure on that car, so he is lucky that did not happen under green, because that could have been catastrophic if he lost his brakes heading into turn 1 or the carousel. That could have been a hard hit for him, so it's not lucky that the car's brakes failed, but it is a Monster Motorsports car, and this year, if you're not DJ Curtis or Carter Friesen, you have no luck in Monster Motorsports. Coming on through, though, Tib Foster, Zach Rogers going to lead him. Tib's going to stay out. Zach Rogers comes in. Everyone's staying out. What in the heck is going on? We said the fuel window's like 15 to 16 laps. Why aren't you coming in? So the whole front of the field's going to stay out. And it looks like the whole back of the field's going to come on in. Burkhart's staying out. Bobo Jones stays out. Is Porta coming in? Porta's coming in, so this is going to be his chance at some track position there. Because after these guys all come in and come down to the attention of their crew, I don't understand this. I think they're thinking an immediate caution is going to come out because it's going to be on a restart, but at that point, these guys are going to run out of fuel. They basically have the same fuel lengths as the trucks. I don't know how this is going to work. Zach Rogers is going to be the first one back out in the 28. Matty Porta's just coming on in now. So Jay and Porta, ooh, very close there. I'm surprised Porta didn't try to take a little bit of a hit at Jay after that earlier incident. But you're going to go 4 tires and fuel. That's the choice here. Get those fresh Goodyears on your car. Justin Knight at the back. Matty Porta at the back. So we will be going out now. Porta's going to come on out. He's going to pick up a couple spots, actually, on Luke Evans, Jacob Rose, the 2 of Mac Johnson. It looks like Matthew Eves as well. So that's a couple spots there. But these guys, I don't understand it. Tib Foster, why? Why are you doing this? There's a difference here, though. Foster, Morris, Yepes, they're pretty much locked in. Tib's 7th in points. We'll give him that. He's 7th in points, so he's not too locked in, but I think he just doesn't want to be back in a crash. I think that's what he's trying to do, but I don't understand this. We'll come back and analyze whatever's going to happen here, but we're going to go ahead and take you to the replay. So incident 1 here, Matthew Eves dive into the bottom of Porta into turn 1. They're fighting at the back here because Porta was spun around earlier in this event. And Eves is going to go right up on the inside of him. Comes off the corner and just taps Porta. Going to send him wide through the S's. Now he's trying to gather it back up. Hits the inside wall into William Duncan. Duncan comes back across, spins into Cody Goforth there, who collects Matt Sladek as Sladek tried to get through it. But William Duncan here just had nowhere to go, was trying to get around Eves as quick as he could, and they end up spinning guys around. Goforth and Sladek, heartbreaking for them. They were just at the wrong place at the wrong time. On board with Sladek here. It is a big hit here in the opening stages. A couple spins here at the beginning of this one. Bring you guys back to the action after this. Back live here at the Glen, and we are sorry to say that Zach Rogers suffered a fuel fire on his pit stop. They put it out, got him back out on track, but then reported of a fuel leak and a loss of fuel pressure. So whatever happened on that pit stop damaged his fuel tank, and I do not think he will be continuing this race. The team's trying to patch it up there and diagnose what is actually wrong with the 28's fuel tank, but a second place run today is going to go away from him. Heartbreaking for Zach Rogers, but for this front, about 11, 12, 13 cars, I don't know what the problem is here. I don't know what the plan is here because you're already 15 laps into a fuel run. Carson Bowers is already coming down. So is Ethan Head. I don't know what the plan is here. Gatlin, Downey, Bobo, Jones, William, Duncan. This might be a big brain move if they all crash on this restart. Green flag's in the air. They're going 4 wide, so they might have had an idea on that. And they are side by side. Everyone's diving into 1. Austin Murray's going to move up into 2nd. And here they come through the corner. There's Jay Jefferson to the 48 out in front there of that group. And everyone else looks like single file coming on through turn 1 as a group of them came down pit road. Now Tibb is just hoping they crash now, so he's not, his plan doesn't backfire on him. Now Jacob Edson's going to look to the inside of Neal. That's 3 wide there. Stephen Wallace Jr. out in front of this, but Foster is going to lead him in pretty much. This entire group back to Burkhart's going to have to pit whether they like it or not because they are going to run out. Tip Foster wide. Here comes Murray right back. He's going to look for the race lead if he can lead him onto pit road, but he's not going to lead this lap. And I know they're going to have to come in this time unless they were saving like another lap of fuel under caution. But here comes Murray through. Do they have it? It is a yellow. It is a yellow, so these guys up front might have just saved themselves, but still, you gotta come in anyway. You're gonna be at the back. Drag race to the line. Foster leads them back around. Duncan's on pit road. I think they were trying to repair something on the 01. We'll see if he gets back out up to speed. And it looks like maybe Matthew Eves again has gone around in that 47. But now this front group, they're gonna have to come in anyway. I think if they do not come in and pit, if these guys don't come in and pit, Jay Jefferson, I think, will be the race leader. I think he was one of them that stayed out. If not, maybe Max Anderson. I forget exactly who stayed out, but we'll, of course, see under this caution. But it must have been Matthew Eves that gone around. William Duncan does get the lucky pass, and he will go back up. So this might have picked him up some spots there in that 01 if he can stay ahead of those guys. Zach Rogers still on pit road. They're still trying to diagnose what happened there. But I believe Matthew Eves was the cause of this second caution. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Another incident today involving Matthew Eves. He dives into the carousel. Matt Sladek just drives right through him, so that's not going to be too happy when Eves is your boss. So that could be interesting there to see on Monday. But Matthew Eves was trying to make a move. These guys are at the back. Sladek just goes right up the back of him, spins him into the tires. Keeps it going, though, both of them. Bring you guys back after this. Field working their way through the last 2 corners. If these guys don't pit here, I can't even make excuses for them. They'd be the stupidest people alive. So Tib Foster's in, Murray's in, and it looks like that whole front group is going to cycle their way on in, including Burkhart. Jay Jefferson will stay out. Max Anderson, Casey Mears, Brad Chastain, DJ Gibson are going to be your top 5. And here comes the rest of the field coming on by. KT Larson's inside the top 10. And a lot of the big hitters are now pretty much out of this one. They're going to be at the back. Matthew Eves bringing the 47 back on in. So they get the 1 to go because it's only 2 pace laps at road courses. Again, that's why at Old Spice we had to throw an extra caution lap in there to form the field back up. But now this group, Jay Jefferson's your race leader, so he's fighting for the regular season title. And now that Brady's on pit road, this could be the biggest opportunity Jay has to go up there and contend for it. Max Anderson is in 2nd. His best career finish 3rd at Nashville with JSR's 36. But right now, he is in 2nd for Johnson Performance, which would be their best finish, I'm pretty sure, as a team, period, in National Series competition. They are up in 2nd. Casey Mears is 3rd in his final season in the NSDCA, looking to go and take his first victory. Brad Chastain for the 0 team. The Jelly Belly car is 4th for an independent team owner. DJ Gibson's 5th. He's out of chase hopes because he didn't go and win like 3 races after his comeback to the NSDCA. Francois Chastain sits 6th. Spurley Dupe 7th. Onjak 8th. Look at KT Larson 9th for BK Racing. And 10th is Zachary DeLello. And now you got some other guys back there. There's Justin Knight 14th. Matty Porta's up to 16th. Strigley inside the top 20. There's Jacob Rose. Damage cars. William Duncan's restarting about 30th. And Foster in this group are just hoping that they can last. Zach Rogers' team got him back out. He is a lap down, though, in the 28. Matthew Eves last. All 40 cars still racing with 18 to 29 complete. Coming around, it'll be 11 laps to go at the GoDaddy at the Glen. The problem here for Jefferson, he wants to win the regular season title. He wants to win another race, put 3 wins on the season, and get a big points boost. However, the next 3 cars in line are part-time drivers who have nothing to lose. Max Anderson has already gotten some good opportunities with this Cup Series being in its inaugural season. And of course, that great run at Nashville. He has a Rockstar Energy Racing ride next year. Casey Mears in his final year, he's going to go for it all. He doesn't care if these cars crash. He doesn't care if he is out of this one because he wants to win this race. And he wants to throw it in and try to win this race and score at least 1 Cup victory before he retires for his son to drive. And Brad Chastain, it's a one-off appearance. He doesn't know if this team will ever take him back, so he wants to go up there and win for them. Jay Jefferson's leading over some underdogs behind him. Will the underdogs prevail? Green flag's back in the air. A few laps left here. Green flag, we're racing again at Watkins Glen. As we said, cautions breed cautions. Jefferson with a big jump there in the 48. And Max Anderson's going to stay right behind. Mears third, Chastain fourth. Now Francois Chastain moves the 36 into fifth. Rest of the field working their way around. Kukulon wide. There's Porta. It looks like he's a bit slow in that 20 car. I think he lost a spot to Strigley already. Rest of the field making it on through, and we stay clean for this first attempt. But Max Anderson now has Casey Mears looking to the inside. Mears in the Hungry Man 07 wants that second spot. Dodge has been the manufacturer you want to be at if you want to win races. And Mears is in a Dodge against the Chevy of Max Anderson. Jefferson up wide. Mears is now into second. Here comes the 07 of Casey Mears, charging after Jay Jefferson. Mears, a road course ace. Jefferson's just strong at road courses because he has the equipment to run strong anywhere. And now Jefferson out in front trying to hang on over Casey Mears, a man who in 4 years has not done much in the NSDCA. He had a great one at Watkins Glen in the MDCS a while ago. He wants to win here at the Glen. 10 to go at Watkins Glen. Now Jefferson, he just does not need to overshoot it, and he does. Jefferson goes wide. Is that enough for Mears to jump to the inside, heading into the S's? Does he have enough? He's on the back of Jefferson. Contact there between the two of them as Mears is hunting the 48 down. Can Casey Mears make a pass on the 48? Max Anderson starting to fade in that third position. Not too far back, but he's fallen. Francois Chastain in the 36 starting to bring that car to the front. Now, second through fifth are all drivers just running part-time offers in the Cup Series, just trying to get themselves into victory lane. More contact with Mears and Jefferson. Mears is not letting the 48 go. Max Anderson fighting back in the 51. We have a battle on our hands for the final few laps at the Glen. And Jay Jefferson, he has a lot to lose here. He's running in a position where he would be within a reasonable striking distance of Burkhardt for that regular season title. Burkhardt sits 36th last time by. Jefferson in the lead, gathering bonus points and leading laps en route to a possible victory. The top few are single file, but Jay just needs to hit his marks. But each time he's been going wide through turn one, leading Mears to catch up just a little bit. Can this 07 get up there to the 48? These Cup cars are a bit heavier than the trucks, it seems, around this track. And you've seen that in the way that these guys are much more single-filed out and less chaotic around this race course. Mears staying in the draft of Jefferson. The 07 is definitely underpowered compared to the 48, but Mears can drive this car fast and hard. Now into the carousel again, right in the tire tracks of the 48 of Jay Jefferson. Jay's going to power off the corner a bit better. Top five staying single file. You got 2 Dodges leading 3 Chevys, and Chevy only has 1 win this year in Carter Friesen, and the other win with Colton Lane. 2 Monster Motorsports drivers. Monster Motorsports are not any of these cars. Caution is out again. Justin Knight's in it in the 08. Jacob Edson's at the back of this one. Jay Jefferson leads them back around, so there's going to be another attempt at Jay's race lead, and we are under caution yet again here at the Glen. Carter Friesen has some damage there. Logan Cloud has damage, so that's another 2 Monster Motorsports cars. Stephen Wallace Jr., who's fighting for a chance at the regular at making the chase. He was 16th heading into here. Burkhardt might have some damage, so that's big for your points leader. Rest of the field cycling on around, coming on through. Matty Porta looked like he gained some spots there. The 20 is now inside the 13th position as they come on through. But now Jay Jefferson's your race leader as they cycle on through. And he's trying to win this race over Casey Mears, Max Anderson, Francois Chastain. Mears is going to have to make a push on this 48 if he wants to win it. But we'll see. 7 laps to go next time by. Most likely going back with about 6 to go. But we still have green-white checkers that can throw a wrench into these plans. Everyone can make it to the end of the race, or should be able to. If we go under caution for a green-white checkered, that's going to play some big strategy. Watkins Glen started this race with 14 green flag laps, and now it's been a couple laps and more cautions. We'll see what happened here and bring you guys back to the action right after this at the GoDaddy at the Glen. Couple incidents here. First one being the Sauber Racing Team teammates. The 20 and 08 get together, Knight into the wall. His day done. He will be last. But the other incident here, the reason for the caution, Carter Friesen and Logan Cloud, other teammates here, get together into the wall, and they go spinning. So Monster Motorsports Sauber Racing Team not having some good days here at the Glen. The 50 and 85 were able to keep it going. The 08 out of this one. Back live here at Watkins Glen. One car out of this race, that is Justin Knight. Not happy on the radio with Matty Porta. But we are ready. There will be 6 laps to go when we go back racing. Jay Jefferson, your race leader. Underdogs, Casey Mears, Max Anderson, Francois Chastain, Brad Cheston, right behind in the top 5. Still do not count out DJ Gibson, Riley Spurleytube, Onjack's up here. KT Larson looking for her top 10 finish after Old Spice was horrible for her. Zachary DeLello, Ryan Butcher, Kukulon, Porta, Strigley, Mac Johnson, Jacob Rose, Cody Goforth, Luke Evans, Carson Bowers, Larry Hagan back into the top 20. Tim Foster up to 22nd. There's not going to be enough time for him to move through the field, especially with these Cup cars seemingly handling a bit more calmly than the trucks. So we'll see what'll happen here in the closing laps. We'll see if these guys will be able to keep it clean and have a race to the end. No one's been able to pass the race leader on track. It's been on pit road when Tim Foster relinquished the lead, so we'll see if it's just Foster and Jefferson being dominant, or if Casey Mears, Max Anderson, Francois Chastain can throw it into turn 1, move that 48 out of the way like Jefferson tried to turn, or succeeded in turning Porta at the beginning of this race. And we'll see maybe if Mears, Max Anderson, Francois Chastain can snooker a victory away from the top teams. We have 6 laps remaining when we go back green here at the Glen. Jefferson, Mears, Max Anderson, Francois Chastain, Brad Cheston, your top 5. Coming down the front straightaway. Green flags back in the air. We are racing once again at Watkins Glen. Anderson looks for a move. They're all going. Peter Onjak's going to throw it 4 wide further back in the 44. He wants to get to the front in a hurry. Contact there between them is Cheston now. Spurleytube sideways. Cheston into Gibson. Gibson into the wall. Heavy hit for the 53. Are we under caution for that? No caution called for DJ Gibson sitting in the tire barriers. They take him off the track. Now Jefferson in the lead. Mears held up a bit by Max Anderson trying to get there. KT Larson in the 23 is now top 5 for BK Racing. But here they come down the back straightaway. Jefferson out in front. He's going to run a bit higher through the carousel. Mears looking to that inside. Can he carry the momentum off to stay right there with Jefferson? Here they come down the 3rd long straightaway here at Watkins Glen. Max Anderson still right behind him as Jefferson continues to lead. Will anyone be able to make it past Jefferson? Jay has not won on a road course in his career, but he's been very strong on him. KT Larson looked a bit slow further back there, but here they come off the final corner. Mears hot on his heels for that in that 07, but the 48 is out in front here at Watkins Glen. DJ Gibson sitting on pit road. His day done as he crashed out there. Now, Jefferson hits turn 1 nicely. Mears following right behind. Max Anderson, KT Larson wide. That's going to lose her a top 5. Here comes Cheston now in the 0. Looking for a top 10 in the 0 car's first attempt here in the NSDCA. In the Cup Series. Onjak 8th. Kukulon up to 9th or 10th. Matty Porta in 11th. He's not going to win this race. There's no way he can catch up in time unless there's a couple more cautions, but he has definitely recovered very nicely through this one, and you see Tim Foster going big in a 3 wide move back there. Now Mears going to run a bit higher. I don't think they can catch Jefferson in time now. The car difference here is just too big, and especially at a track that does require some heavy speed in your car. Mears going to dive right in, right to the back of Jefferson here coming into the final corners. He is not going to be denied, though. He's not going to lay down and let him over. Now they're going to make contact. Sideways coming off the corner as Mears throws the dive to the inside of the 48. That's going to slow him down. Carter Friesen has some heavy damage. Cars around at the back. That's Mac Johnson. And we'll be lining up most likely for a possible green-white checkered here at Watkins Glen. Now, as they slide, Max Anderson sliding in. They're going to have another attempt at Jay. But now the question is, does anyone have enough fuel to make it to the end of the green-white checkered? Out in front is Jefferson, Mears second, Anderson third, Chastain fourth as they come on across. And Jay's trying to hang on over Mears. Mears has had an attempt once already and dove and almost hit him coming off of the last corner on the last lap last time by. So now, can Jay hang on and hold on to this race lead? I don't think Mears is going to have enough to power off here. Whatever's going to happen is going to be on this restart as Jay Jefferson in the 48 is just a few laps away from possibly taking his first career road course victory. He's going to lead him back around, it appears. Goes wide a bit. Will Mears be able to capitalize? Not going to happen now that we know of as they come off. Jefferson will lead him back across, but Casey Mears still hot on his heels. And we'll see what'll happen in these closing laps. But it was Mac Johnson who went around. William Duncan peeling off a tire, a flat tire on the 01, so his day started off great, started a top 5 run, spun out early or held up by a spinning Matty Porta early, and now a flat tire on the 01 is going to cost him. But could be a blessing in disguise. We got 2 pace laps, which is going to get us to lap 28. The Cup Series rules are 2 laps to finish the race, so it could be till lap 30. Those guys that pit earlier on in this race on that first caution about lap 15, those guys are the ones we're going to be watching. So really, this could be a saving grace for William Duncan. With a flat tire, they got to come down and maintenance on the car, add some fuel to it. Heck, he might be able to still squeak out a top 15, especially if those guys all run out of fuel on this last bit. Hopefully it's not like Pocono where the whole front of the field migrates down pit road and we got 9 cars left to fight it out on the last lap. But the thing with green-white checkers is they are almost unlimited. If we go past a certain lap, the NSDCA will probably make a ruling on that. But since we have not had a ruling or not had a race where we've had multiple green-white checkers in the Cup Series yet this year, and this track at Watkins Glen being an easy opportunity for that to happen, we'll have to see what the NSDCA will do. It's been hard to pass out in front. This package seems like it's harder to pass and it's a bit tighter, so maybe the track promoters will be looking into a new car for next year's Watkins Glen event. But Jay Jefferson's your race leader, Casey Mears second, Max Anderson, Francois Chastain, and Riley Spurleytube your top 5. We're going to go ahead and let them roll past pit road here to see if anyone will indeed come down, because again, these guys pit on lap 15. That's going to be about 17 laps to make it to the end. 16, 17 laps to make it to the end. So you're right on the edge of a fuel window. Your tires are shot. Your tempers are flaring because a lot of the guys up front are complaining how it's pretty difficult to make passes stick here coming through the corners. So we'll just have to see what'll happen. Is anyone going to dive down pit road there? Does not appear so. The front's going to stay out. Whole front's going to stay out. And I mean, risk it. If you're up front, anywhere in this field, honestly, don't come into pit. Don't come into pit unless you really feel like your car's not going to make it to the end. Because if we just see this one green-white checkered, you should be fine. If we see another one, that's when you're going to have to make those decision calls about coming down pit road. No one comes down. We're going to go ahead, get a quick replay. Get you guys back to the final 2-lap shootout here at Watkins Glen. So a pair of Monster Motorsports spins here is going to end this one. Mac Johnson gets spun around by Ryan Butcher, and that's what brings the caution to bring us to this first green-white checkered attempt as the 2 of Mac Johnson goes around. Now, earlier on the restart, Carter Friesen in the 85 was actually turned around. They're 3 wide here. He's up into the dirt, just really wide. The car just cannot handle that well. He's going to come back across. Jacob Edson's actually going to hook him, and the 85 goes spinning around. So we'll bring you back to the action for this green-white checkered right after this. So here we are, the final dash to the finish. If a caution comes out before the leader takes the white flag, we rack it back up and have another attempt at a green-white checkered. If we don't, and make it to the white flag, we race back no matter what. Jay Jefferson's your race leader. Casey Mears second. Max Anderson third. Francois Chastain fourth. Those guys have stayed the same. Spurleytube's up to fifth. KT Larson in sixth. Back in seventh, Onjak eighth. Cheston ninth. DeLello in the 57 and 10th. Sebastian Kukulon, an underdog, trying to make the chase. Jefferson has many drivers behind him, desperate for a win, but he's trying to win so he can get a run at the regular season title. Coming down the front straightaway for possibly the final restart of the day. Green flags in the air. Anderson already made a move to the bottom. We are racing once again at Watkins Glen. Casey Mears just does not get good restarts, and now Max Anderson throws it in. They're going to make contact there, and that's going to be the 51 of Anderson clear into second. He wants to make the move as Mears is now going to start to drop back in that 07. Side by side with Francois Chastain for third. It looks like that's going to be the 07's chance over, but now Max Anderson in the 51 trying to chase down Jay Jefferson. 2 laps to go at the Glen. Do they have enough fuel to make it to the end? We would have been done. This would have been a 1-lap dash last year in the Crown Royal Truck Series, but it's a 2-lap dash to the finish. Now Jay Jefferson out in front. If he hits his marks, he's home free. There's no one that can stop him right behind him. They're all underpowered compared to that 48 car. He just has to drive it home. TSR's Eli Bright won yesterday in the truck race. Now Jay Jefferson is going to be 1 lap away from taking home the victory here. Mears all the way back to the 5th position on that restart. Will we see a caution before we come across the line again? Jefferson is in the race lead, and right there he comes across the line. He sees the white flag in the air. 1 lap to go at Watkins Glen, and it looks like this is all Jay Jefferson's race now in the 48 car. Oh, but he's going to run it wide. I don't think Max Anderson is not close enough to make a move into turn 1. And it looks like as they come on through, nothing much is going to happen here. You can't really make a move coming through the S's. His last chance is most likely going to be at the carousel if he can have the speed on Jefferson down the back. But the 51 is underpowered. The 36, the 79, the 07, the 23, all underpowered compared to this 48 car, which is one of the best in the field. Francois Chastain into the back of Max Anderson, wants to shove him out of the way. They're going to battle for second, and Jay Jefferson's going to be home free. The underdogs are not going to be able to dethrone him here, but Jefferson might be able to dethrone Burkhart. Coming down for the final time through the final 2 corners, Jay Jefferson in the 48 car is going to hit now through the final 2 corners. Coming through the last one and off of the final turn, Jay Jefferson is going to steal this one away. He gets his first road course victory, and it comes at Watkins Glen. Field cycles passed, and a very uncharacteristic Watkins Glen. The leaders were able to dominate this race so far. Jay Jefferson out in front, comes home with the victory. Cautious spinner at the back. Joseph Strigley turned by Carson Bowers. Strigley comes home 12th, Bowers 13th, so it might have been a fight at the end gone wrong. But Jay Jefferson comes home, but look at the rest of the top 5, really, is Max Anderson, Francois Chastain, Riley Spurleytube. Mears comes home 5th, just could not get the pedal down on the restarts. KT Larson brings BKR home in 6th. Peter Onjak 7th. Cheston 8th. DeLello 9th. Kukulon in 10th as he's going to run into the side of Butcher. So there goes the 12 into the carousel. Matty Porta recovers to 11th, but he is saying on the radio, let me talk to that 48 when he gets out of victory lane. So Porta none too happy with Jefferson's move right off the bat in turning him. But Jay Jefferson comes home the race victor here at Watkins Glen. A nice shot for that 48 team. He gets to bring it on home. And everyone will be able to bring this one home nice and clean for a Watkins Glen race. Not as exciting as previous Watkins Glen races. Maybe that's down to the package. Maybe it's down to a better class of drivers that were running away out in front. But Jay Jefferson and Tim Foster, once they got that clean air, just could not be stopped. Might be an issue with the ICR package for this year. We'll be heading out to Daytona next weekend for a great night race there on the Super Speedway to see what the chase standings will really be looking like heading into Chicagoland. 2 more races left for the Cup Chase, 2 more races left for the Truck Chase, 5 races left in the MDCS season, and the DPDS and MMS will be having their championship weekends just before we head to Chicagoland. A lot of great racing left this season. We're happy to show it all here on the NSDCA. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys next time on the NSDCA.